We're glad to have you right here on Signature Morning, Signature TV. And of course, we're moving to another segment of our program this morning. We have Chekwas Okorie as guest. We'll be discussing the PDP, the AP's Apga, I beg your pardon, the Apga leadership crisis, Chekwas Okorie versus Soludo. And we have Chekwas on the line. Good morning, Chekwas.
Good morning.
Good morning, Doctor.
Chekwas. Can you hear us?
Yeah, are you hearing me?
Good morning, Doc. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. I wonder if you are hearing me.
We can hear you loud and
we
clear,
can hear
sir.
you.
Oh, very good then.
Okay, Doc, we want to know what the situation is so far with Apga leadership.
Well, the situation is that in spite of all stumbling blocks on the part of justice, the national chairman of Apga, as we speak, is Chief Edozie Njoko, who won the leadership struggle at the Supreme Court on the 24th of March, 2023. And the Independent National Electoral Commission did not immediately recognize him, or in other words, comply with that judgment. And the reason was that, the reason I can decipher is that Professor Soludo, our only governor, sponsored his people to continue the propaganda that even the judgment of the Supreme Court was not explicit that Chief Njoko was national chairman of the party, which was not true. So that compelled two members of the National Working Committee of the party to approach the Federal High Court, because there is a constitutional provision that the judgment of the Supreme Court can be enforced by any court of record below. With that, they went to the FCT High Court in Abuja, at Buhari in Abuja, yes. And the court gave a judgment, a clear judgment, that the chairman of the party was Chief Edozie Njoko. They were still not satisfied with that. They went to the Court of Appeal and they formulated 10 grounds of appeal to be able to get the appeal court to set aside the enforcement judgment of the court at Buhari in FCT. And the Court of Appeal resolved all the 10 grounds in favor of Apga, in favor of the respondents, because they became appellant and they were using the name of Victor Oye for all of this trouble. So Victor Oye was the appellant in the matter. And the Court of Appeal dismissed the appeal in a concurrent judgment of 3 justices of the court. And INEC felt that they had reached the end of the road in indulging Professor Soludo and his people, if you like, his faction, and complied with the judgment of the Supreme Court and recognized Chief Edozie Njoko. And that was reflected on the INEC portal. Everybody thought we had come to the end of all of this, because there must be an end to litigation. Whatever that is left will be maybe for them to go back to the Supreme Court and attempt to get the Supreme Court to reverse itself. So between June 28th, 2023, 24 this year that appeal court judgment was given. We didn't hear anything from them in court except Professor Tolujo boasting to everybody that cared to listen that there is no way that Chief Edozie Njoku will be chairman of the party, national chairman. And he preferred his special assistant called Sly Ezomuka, whom he purported to have sponsored to go to a convention that was nullified by the court as illegal convention. And we continue to have this distraction, yet we were still appealing to him to sheath the sword and let us make peace and move the party forward. He would not listen. And he still went ahead again to the same appeal court, this time with application for leave of court to go to Supreme Court, which is their entitlement, which we thought they would have done since June. But the surprise thing was that in the course of applying for leave of court, they entered very, very worrying and, if you like, unfortunate reliefs to be granted to them. One of those reliefs was for the appeal court to order a stay of execution of the judgment, their own judgment, which would have meant that INEC, in obeying that, will take down the name of Chief Edozie Njoku. And of course, will not even replace it with that of their preferred man. So Apga will now be a party without national leadership, as a result of one of the highest beneficiaries of Apga, because as a result of his antics and sponsorship and recalcitrance. So the courts did not grant them that. They said it was absurd to come to the court and ask the court to stay the execution of its own judgment, the final judgment. That where they should canvass that is at the Supreme Court. So the court did not hesitate to grant them the leave they sought to go to Supreme Court. And we're looking for them to go to Supreme Court. And that is where we are. So I thought, as the chairman board of trustees of Apga, as the founder and vision bearer of Apga, that it was, I could no longer wait for Soludo to make up his mind whether to belong to Apga or to leave Apga. So we had a meeting of the board of trustees, and the board of trustees said, well, we are an advisory body. We must do our duty by giving the National Committee of the party, led by Chief Edozie Njoku as national chairman, the necessary advice as we see it. And we gave the advice and addressed the public through the media to immediately activate the disciplinary machinery of the party and get Professor Soludo and call him to order, because in a party democracy, party is supreme. Nobody is higher than party. And in a party democracy, the issue of what is it called, having immunity does not exist. A party member is a party member. There is nothing like immunity of a party member for the member that is the governor of a state or even the president of Nigeria. So I believe the party leadership will take our advice, which we gave in good faith in the interest of the party, seriously.
All right, Honorable, thank you very much. But a statement was released by the chairman of Apga, the current sitting chairman of Apga. But because of time, I won't be able to read everything, but this is on the punch. I'm just going to read the last part. He said, furthermore, it is on record that after that, he, you now, Okorie, went on to form another political party, which he ultimately liquidated. Today, the same political party has been disregistered, and he feels that the only way to gain relevance is to start laying claim once again to the leadership of Apga. What's your reaction to this? What's your take on this?
Well, I honestly pity some of them who canvass this kind of, especially if they are highly placed officials of the state government of Anambra State, like their Commissioner of Information and one other chap ahead made this kind of statements. How can I fought for the soul and the spirit of Apga for 8 good years. And in 8 years, I was fighting with my personal resources, and the other side had the resources of the state government, which was more or less limitless. And the justice at that time was very much purchasable. I don't know from what I'm seeing now. I think there's an improvement in our judicial system. Otherwise, Chief Edozen Njoku would have been spent by the present government, whom we also understand is throwing on unimaginable sums of money just to put the party in his pocket like his predecessors did. And there was no time in the 8 years that there was a judgment that said the one they used at that time, Chief Victor was chairman, not a single judgment. Because it was on record that without my support and cooperation, Mr. P2B would never have gone for second tenure. I was the one that INEC recognized at the time of his nomination for second tenure. Because INEC was going forward and backwards, recognizing me and not recognizing me. So at that critical time, I was the one recognized. And so, P2B did not nominate him. P2B had to run to Abuja, run to the presidency under President Buhari. All these things are on record. And I was invited, of course, by the chairman of ANEC at that time, Professor Morrissey, and I was pleaded with, so that we don't lose the one governor we had, that I should cooperate for him to go for a second term as a validly nominated candidate. And the Modumego Ojukwu, I was appealed to allow Chief the Modumego Ojukwu to sign the nomination form for Peter, the column for chairman, because they had gone to Oka to obtain a restraining order, restraining me from nominating anybody. So I told them, how could I help to solve their problem? Since there is an order which had not been vacated. So a few heads were put together, and it was resolved that if I would allow the Modumego Ojukwu to sign the nomination form for Peter, and I do not turn around to make trouble, in other words, to disown it, that it will stand, they will allow Peter to go. That's okay, to show my good faith, because my interest is in the survival of the party, not for anything personal. I said, yes, I will allow the Modumego Ojukwu to sign, but our National Secretary, Barrister Omar Bello, from Zamfara State, must sign the secretary side, so that since he was not equally restrained. And that was agreed. Mr. P2B's nomination form for second tenure was signed by the Modumego Ojukwu and Barrister Bello Umar. And that is the record with INEC. And then after that, we thought that P2B would be so grateful as to call for truce. Since we had shown such good faith, we had it on our pants to prevent him from going for second term. We didn't do that. Now the matter continued. After about 8 years, I took a decision with my men and women all over the country. We called our NEC meeting. We said there must be an end to litigation. We still had matters pending in courts. I gave an advice to our council, senior advocates of Nigeria, 2-3 of them at the time, to discontinue all litigations. We wrote a letter to INEC, official letter, this all on record, and I signed it as chairman. And that letter was to return the certificate of Apga to the commission. I am on record to be the first person since the political history of this country to return the registration certificate of a party to the issuing authority voluntarily. And that was to enable me go and form another party to pursue the same vision and agenda. Then, my friends and I agreed. We returned to INEC. It was in the news. It was at INEC that Victor went and received that certificate that I returned voluntarily. And I couldn't have the certificate and still apply for another party. We applied for another party, United Progressive Party, UPP. It was registered, but it did not meet the requirement to continue to stay on the register of the commission. About 94 political parties were deregistered. Just like INEC will still deregister more when the time comes, because it is not all the 18 parties existing today that won election in the last election. So that one was deregistered. What is the big deal about a party I founded being deregistered? Since 1923, party politics started in Nigeria. Over 150 parties have been registered and deregistered in this country. So what is the big deal? But as for me and Apga, there is nowhere in the world that I have never heard the word a former founder. So my place in history is that I am the founder of this party. It took me 3 attempts, and at the 3rd attempt, we were able to be registered. And who is a founder? That is the person who has initiated a project, the initiator. But to form a party, you need many people. You need people to the requirement of INEC for formation of a party. So these half-baked literates will not understand the difference between a founder and the one that formed the party. One man cannot form a party under our laws. But it takes one man to initiate the formation of a party. Didn't Chief Obafemi Awolowo initiate the formation of 2 political parties, the UPN and the Action Group? Are they existing today? Didn't Malam Aminu Kano initiate the formation of NEPU and PRP? Are they existing today? Didn't Waziri Ibrahim, Alhaji Waziri Ibrahim, initiate the formation of MPP and GMPP? Are they existing today? So for me to initiate the formation of Apga and UPP is not something unprecedented. And the difference is that of the 4 of us that have founded 2 parties in our lifetime, I am still alive. I'm the only one standing. And of the 4 of us, all those Apga is still standing. The others have gone. Has that removed their place in history because their parties are no longer existing? So when I listen to this type of warped logic, I said these same people, if somebody would come and tell them that their parents are not their biological parents, how would they feel? A party I founded, you say I'm not no longer a member of it. Where has it ever happened? I am back in Apga, I'm back to the party I founded. And I'm still passionate about Apga. And that is why, by the grace of God and the special consideration of the new leadership, they appointed me chairman board of trustees. Whether I'm chairman board of trustees or not, it does not remove the fact that the founder of that party is this man we are watching on television now. And they can't take that away. They cannot. And many of them are beneficiaries of my blood and sweat. I don't want to go into further details. They are just trying to provoke me. I don't call names. I don't go, it's not my style, my character, to begin to disparage people and run them down. But I try to stick to facts. And these people are trying to provoke me. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, Dr. Chekwas, let's look at statement you made against Soludo, that Soludo has crossed the Rubicon and should be sanctioned. So why do you make such allegations?
It's not an allegation, it's a statement of fact that he has crossed the Rubicon. When he was governor-elect, he was yet to be sworn in as governor, because we have been friends for some time. When I published my book, Apga and Igbo Question, Professor Soludo, I tell it on television, supported and contributed substantially to the printing of the book, as a mark of goodwill and as a mark of the friendship we had enjoyed. So whenever I see that book, I remember his contribution. And he read the manuscript and felt that it was something that needed to go out there for people to know even the idea, because he said when he came in, the people he met didn't even know the ideology of the party. And that he didn't know that he even understood the meaning of ideology. And so when he read the manuscript, he felt that, yes, this is indeed a true story and he should be part of it. So he contributed to his printing. And so I went to his house at Enugu and we spent like 3 hours talking about how to make peace in Apga. I said, look, you are not part of this whole dispute. Now you are here. You are the only elected, the highest elected officer of the party as governor. You are the de facto leader of this party. It is within you to call these people quarreling to order. I suggested to him how it could be done to make peace and move ahead. But later, I thought we had a good conversation. And he even assured me that it was a very productive conversation we had. But later on, he began to take this hard stand against the Edozie Njoka. And I called him this time on phone. I said, do you know this man you are fighting? He said he has never met him, he didn't know him, and all that. I said, so that if you have never had any issues with him, why are you taking this type of hard stand? He said one of his rivals, mentioned his name, I don't want to go there now, was the one supporting, funding him. I said that, Professor, I called him his title name, Odenibo. I said, Odenibo, you are now an elected governor with all the protection granted you by our constitution. You now enjoy immunity. When people win election, they call even their most vehement rivals to round table and discuss on the way forward. So why would your own be different? That was when he vowed that he will use everything within his power as governor to make sure that Edozie Njoka was never chairman of party. And if for any reason he became chairman, that he would leave the party within 24 hours. And I'm quoting what he said. What is the reason for even trying to fabricate anything? What would be the benefits? So it was, and that after leaving the party would die. That was the first time he actually crossed the Rubicon. Because you are talking to the person who became poor in order to give our people political identity, who denied himself every comfort, denied my children some of the comfort they should have had from their father, a father of my standing, because of my commitment to this struggle. And because of this party, Ohaneze Ndigbo gave me the title of Obatuleni Ndigbo, because of how the party was celebrated, because it was the first time an Igbo man founded a party in Nigeria, registered party in Nigeria since 1923. Until today, I'm the only person living or dead that Ohaneze Ndigbo ever gave a traditional title. And so, you expect me to applaud a person who has threatened what cost us all of this sweat and blood? Yet, in spite of that, I gave him my peace of mind in that particular conversation. But all the same, we continue to appeal to him to have a change of mind so that we could make peace. While this was going on, matters were going on in courts. And as Chief Edozie Njoka was winning case after case, we will still continue. So it was these things he was sponsoring and vowing that he will never recognize Edozie. That is what he did. That is what he has done to cross the Rubicon. So it's not an allegation, it's a statement of fact.
All right, Honorable. I'd like to ask now, why do you think a majority of the party don't want Chief Edozie Njoka as a national chairman?
That is very funny. How can you ever say that? Where did you make that? You see, unfortunately, this Apga, when I came back to Apga, I could hardly recognize it except by its name. The Apga you see today has been confined in one particular state. Apga is not an Igbo party, for crying out loud. Apga is a national party, a progressive political party which will enable Igbo to engage politically, because every party in the world has a strong base. Even in America, you have states that are blue states, which are democratic party controlled states. You have the states that are red states for the Republican Party. You also have states that are the yellow states, which are battlegrounds that any party can win in election. So there is no party that does not have its base. Before now, APC had its base in the north. Today, APC has its base in the west, and so on and so forth. So Apga having a strong base amongst Igbo people in the southeast is nothing strange, but it's not an Igbo party. So when they confined it in Anambra State, do you know that it was after me as chairman, no Apga national event ever took place at Abuja, as required by the Electoral Act. Everything was at Oka. They even went and used Apga resources, revenue of Apga, to build an edifice in Oka as Apga and called it his own headquarters. When all the parties in the southeast, yeah. So now what I'm telling you, in effect, is that the people you said the majority of people don't want it are people who are concentrated in Oka, in Anambra State. Overwhelming majority of Nigerians all over the world, all over Nigeria, are excited about Chief Edozie Njoku coming in. They say Daniel has come to judgment, and I join in saying so, because Chief Edozie Njoku was a foundation member of Apga. He was the first vice chairman of Apga in the southeast at its formation, and later continued till where he is today. I can tell you that the calls we receive, solidarity calls we receive from all over the world, those who are crying on the inside for what had happened to Apga, is enormous. Expectations are high. So if you say majority of the people ask, you know that Apga you see today, that is their own side of Apga, has 6 of the 11 substantive officers come from one state. One state. And INEC allowed that type of malfeasance to exist when INEC is a supervising authority that has precise over political parties, where the Electoral Act has insisted on the national federal character for the distribution of offices, party offices. Then when you go to Oka and see some people who are benefiting from government gather, you say majority of the people. Majority of Edozie Njoku is from Imo State. The founder of the party myself, I'm from Abia State. So why must it be an Anambra affair? And many good, well-meaning people from Anambra State, and I don't want to start mentioning their names, feel thoroughly embarrassed by what they are doing, trying to collide the Igbo people, their heads together, so that the little unity we have will also suffer setback.
All right, Doc. In April 14 last year, there was a claim, or there were stern warnings from the national youth to you and Njoku, that you and Njoku are meddling in the affairs of the party and is causing confusion and is demarketing the party rather than promoting it. Would you say what is happening right now has a thin line connected with Njoku and you, your relationship?
Let me understand the question, please. Can you ask the question again so I can understand it?
Yes, last year, 14th May 2023, some youth came out to accuse you and Njoku of meddling in the affairs of the party, which is not promoting the image of the party. And right now, Njoku is still the chairman, and you are kind of on an edge. So would you say there is a thin line, there is an interpersonal relationship crisis between you and Njoku currently?
Interpersonal relationship between I and Njoku? Nothing like that. What do you mean interpersonal? I mean like quarreling or what? Can you understand the expression interpersonal? Anyway, let me go ahead and just answer the way I understand your question to be first. The Edozie Njoku is the national chairman of Apga. It's undisputed. It's affirmed by the courts. As of today, I'm chairman board of trustees, which is an advisory body. We relate in that form. But Dozendok is somebody that I had known for a long time. I was the one that appointed him at the state level, I mean at the zonal level, and I also presided over his nomination to run for House of Representatives, Nation North and South. He has been a very strong and ardent, committed party man, and so rising to this position is I have been in the forefront of calling for solidarity and support to enable him carry out what God has assigned him to do. So then if you say some youths, who are these youths? It's not every comment that I actually like to respond to, but based on the date you mentioned, he said April 2023. Be reminded, let our viewers be reminded that the Supreme Court gave his judgment, his final judgment on this matter in favor of Edozen Joko on the 24th of March, 2023. So if less than a month after that judgment, some youths were hired to go and make some protest somewhere, is that what I should be referring to? Those youths that said were meddling in the affairs of the party had the Supreme Court to blame if the Supreme Court was wrong, but they delivered their judgment based on the facts and the law before them. Again, they are now going to that Supreme Court. Let me tell you one interesting thing about they are even going to Supreme Court now a second time. The interesting thing is that the last Chief Justice of Nigeria, if they have time, let them go and read his speech. He handed down service directives, which the NJC and the Supreme Court justices agreed. And he said even the current Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Honorable Justice Kekereku, was part and parcel of that practice directive. And the critical part of it is that any counsel, this time it's not about the parties, counsel, a lawyer, that will come to the Supreme Court to waste the time of the court by trying to get the Supreme Court of Nigeria to relitigate a matter they had finished will be severely punished. It is there. And this judgment of 24th of March has been gazetted. It's now being cited in law courts, in other suits as authority of the courts. And somebody wants to commit the suicidal, embark on the suicidal mission of going back to that Supreme Court to look these justices in the face and ask them to reverse themselves. Let me see that counsel who is so suicidal that he will stake his practice license and go and do it. We are waiting. So we should be talking about something that is real, is it? When some miscreants have gone to make a statement somewhere, and I'll be answering it on a very reputable television station like yours. Please deal with ask me questions so that I will go to the what is that. Okay, now tell me those who say we are demarketing Apga. Who will be proud? Who will sincerely be proud that Apga has remained in one state in 22 years? Was that what the party was founded to do? We won the governorship in our very first attempt. So one expected that subsequently we will be winning more states. But the very political brigands confined Apga to just one state to the embarrassment of all of us. And still that one state, it doesn't even have overwhelming control. How many senators of Apga are from Anambra are in the National Assembly? None. Not one. How many House of Rep? No, just less than 3 out of about 11. So I can even say you are controlling a state under this. That is totally moribund. Doesn't require to be demarcated any further. They have done their greatest damage. What will happen now is for Apga to spring out of that cocoon and get to the national space one more time.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable. In one of your statements, you said that Governor Soludo has, done some things, but you said you did not want to bore the public with such information. But then we would like to know or ask you personally. You've accused him of some anti-party's activities. Can you elaborate on those specific anti-party activities that he has committed?
The simplest one that's known to everybody, including in Anambra, including his commissioners, everybody, is that he is the one sponsoring the crisis in Apga today. He is the one. And let me tell you, I pity Chief Victor Oye. I pity him because this is again another man that I have known for a long time. They dragged him. It was this man that dragged him into. Do you know that Victoria is facing sentencing? He had already been found guilty of contempt of court. And it was that sentencing that they went to Court of Appeal to ask that the Court of Appeal should restrain the court below and even INEC from executing that judgment. And they refused them. So there is nothing standing on the way of Victoria going to prison. And that court that gave him that thing is already is in recess. When they resume, the first thing to do is to conclude what they had started, which the appeal court has given them the green light 2 times to go and conclude. And then when Victoria will go to the correctional center to do time, Professor Soludo will be enjoying himself in the government house. And the wife and children of this man will be crying every day, not knowing what will be the fate of their breadwinner in prison. I hope that Victoria is watching this, because he has still a window to redeem himself. Professor Soludo is the one sponsoring crisis in Apga, spending an enormous amount of money, unbelievable amount of money to do so, and he's not hiding it. They went for a local town union meeting of town union president general in Anambra State. A president general of a community innocently and in good faith suggested to his governor, Professor Soludo, to please help bring about peace in Apga. That was the crime the man committed. He was taken to the cleaners.
Doctor, can you hear us? Okay, because of time, Doctor, we would want to know whether you still feel there is a space, there is a place for you in Apga again, given the ongoing disagreement. And is there going to be are you going to be open to reconciling with Soludo anytime soon?
Well, let me tell you one thing. Chief Edoze Njoko is a very, very humane and kind person. What the National Board of Trustees of Party has done is to do our duty according to the party constitution. We're giving an advice. The ball is in the court of the national chairman and the national working committee. And from the latest statement he made yesterday, he said that the party's patience is running out. What it means is that the patience is not totally run out. So it's running out. For me, I don't actually suffer fools. If it makes me, I'm not comfortable. Look, let me tell you, Shakespeare said in one of his epic works that there is nothing as dangerous as a reconciled enemy. When somebody has said that over his dead body that you will be chairman, you better take your cue from what Shakespeare said. The most dangerous thing is to dine and wine with a reconciled enemy. He will complete what he set out to do. But that option is left for the national chairman, and I am a committed loyal party member, notwithstanding that I'm the founder. But I've taken the back seat as chairman board of trustees. So he can, Lieutenant Njoko, yes, if he's approached, I have said it here, he's very humane, very kind, he's a quintessential gentleman. And I'm sure there may be that room. But if it's to me, I have already, our board has submitted our advice. We're not intending to withdraw it.
All right, Honorable, thank you very much for your time and your input on this. We really do appreciate you coming on to the studio with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Lovely, sir. Lovely. We'll be moving over to our next segment for today, and we'll have a Vox Pop, a report. We went to the streets to get the voices of the streets, and we wanted to know about the high level of unemployment in this country. And please to take a listen.